Hey, what's going on, guys? This is all the weapons in Cuphead ranked from worst to best. Okay, so first things first, we have Twist Up, one of the most trash weapons I've ever seen in my life. Um, it is the worst in this game because it only works on like a couple of bosses, successfully at least. Um, it literally just goes up and it barely hits the opponent, I mean, like the boss obviously, and like it might be in the boss for like a really long time because of how trash the weapon is. Also, it does average damage and not high damage, so that's already bad. So yeah, that's why it's rated the worst gun in this game. The Lobber, an utter disappointment. The only way it is good is if you're if you have it beside another weapon and you're using it as like a duo. But if it's by itself, it's absolute garbage, and you can barely hit your boss, and even the super is absolute trash. So it's really hard to do anything. Definitely not a weapon I would use. Next up, we have Chaser, a gun that aims for you, and this is just because it aims for you, it can actually be helpful in some situations. And honestly, it doesn't do like the worst damage, but it does do the worst damage in the game. But since it hits most of its shots, it's probably gonna be more successful than using the Lobber. Next up, we have the starter gun. Yes, this gun is indeed better than three other guns. I feel like it's better than Twist Up because it's just like more solid. It's definitely better than Lobber. You can hit most of your shots, and it does better damage than Chaser, and it still is like pretty rapid fire. So that's why I think it's actually good. But the damage is still not higher, and it's still not better than other weapons in the game. For number 5, we have Converge, a lightning weapon, very cool, and there's 3 shots. It's actually better than all the weapons before this, and it's the second DLC weapon. Twist Up was the first DLC weapon that has been added. This gun is cool because it shoots 3 bullets, and the super is actually pretty like sick. Um, yeah, I feel like it's just a solid gun. Definitely better than it though, because the attack, like the damage, is still not the highest. For number 4, we have Spread. It used to be my favorite, but obviously as I purchased more weapons, it quickly fell down the list. It is still an incredibly good weapon, and the super is still pretty sick. Everything about this gun is honestly just solid, so I'm gonna have to put it in for number 4. There are only 3 weapons that I would say are better than this one. And yeah, one of them is the DLC weapon. Can you guys guess which one that is, and when is going to be in like the video? What's the rating gonna be? And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying so far. Spread is just a solid weapon. You can do lots of damage. It just keeps spamming your opponent, and it's very fun to use. For number 3, we have Charge. I absolutely adore this weapon. Uh, it's like you could just you can like just keep it charging up forever, and it doesn't really change the amount of damage it does. But obviously, if you charge it until it's the big boy, boy does it hurt. So yeah, just keep doing that. You'll eliminate your opponent, by the way, faster than any other boss in the game. This weapon is insane. It definitely deserves this number, but it's still not quick enough. There are better in my opinion. Roundabout used to be my favorite weapon. It literally used to be my number 1 before the DLC. That means you guys can probably guess which is the DLC and what rating it is, because there's only 2 more. This gun is so good. If you guys can literally shoot both backwards and forwards depending on how close you are to the boss. It's so fun to use. It's satisfying to just look at, and honestly, it's so powerful. Like, I've killed most of my bosses with this. So yeah, and the number 1 weapon in Cuphead is, if you guys haven't guessed it already, the number 1 weapon in Cuphead is the Crackshot. I would have never been able to beat the bosses in the DLC without this gun. This gun saved me. Basically, I love the Chaser, but the Chaser does do weak damage. This is a much more powerful version of the Chaser, which is why it literally gets the number 1 rating. It's better than all the other guns in my opinion. because you can actually focus on dodging. You don't have to focus on aiming and dodging at the same time. I actually think it has made me worse because I'm not really as good as aiming now. But I don't really care. Like this gun is so fun to use. Like the super is so great. Like everything about this gun is great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all next time.